What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And just want to say, if you're into those legends of the game, I'm talking about the players from the 60s through the early 2000s, or maybe if you're someone that's younger and you may not have seen some of those legends play, this is definitely the channel for you because that's all I'll focus on. And I would definitely recommend subscribing to the channel. Also, if that's content you enjoy, I'd greatly appreciate if you'd posterize that like button. That would help me out a great deal. And let's go ahead, let's get into today's video. Okay, so I'd originally did this video and had it ready to go, and then I got a submission for the video to be done. So I just wanted to kind of go ahead and redo the video and kind of give a shout out, for that request because, I always like getting those requests from, those that watch the videos. Jerry West, guys, in all honesty, like he's one of those players that he would be difficult to do a proper build in 2K, right? Because you've only got so many things that you can choose from, and your pie charts that you choose, you can only choose essentially two things that could be Hall of Fame at most. Whereas I really feel like Jerry West was a undervalued or underrated defender because I think the all defensive team, I think that was it. That was only around for like the last 6 seasons of his career, and I believe he made the team 5 of those 6 years. So, and that was after that was when he was in his 30s. He was definitely. I mean, he was a really good defensive player, guys. But because of the way 2K builds are, we're going to have to pick and choose what we focus on, right? And for his size, he was also a pretty good rebounder, but guys, look, and another thing, guys, you could do this build at point or shooting. It's really whatever you choose. I just did it at shooting guard because I feel like, Jerry West would be, a shooting guard. But you could certainly have him at point. It would, either way would work. Now, when you're looking at, the pie charts, like I said, you kind of have to pick and choose, right? I mean, what you're going to have. And unfortunately, I feel the closest representation that we could get to Jerry West is the half yellow and half green. That's just me. For this, guys, I mean, you could really choose whatever. I'm just going to choose speed simply because shooting builds they just kill your speed. So now for finishing, guys, I'm really only going to do close shot and driving layup. I'm not really going to focus on anything else. Because in this build, guys, our main focus is going to be the shooting. So while I normally wouldn't do free throw, I feel like in order to get those shooting badges, we need to put those points into that because we're going to want as many shooting badges as we can get. So you're going to max out all of your shooting and all of your playmaking. And then for your defense, guys, look, you want to focus on your perimeter, lateral quickness, and your steal. And that leaves you with 50, which is pretty good because, like I said, he was a good rebounder for his size. So you'll be able to get some points into that. Now for the size, guys, you could really do whatever you prefer. Me personally, I would do defined. The thing is and this is what I'll say with a Jerry West build. I've seen him listed at 6'2", I've seen him listed at 6'3", and I've seen him listed at 6'4". Okay, so you could really do it whichever way you prefer. Me personally, I'm just going to split the difference and go 6'3". Okay, now if you wanted to get even more boost on your ball handling, you could go all the way down to 6'2", but I feel like 6'3" is good. And for his weight, I believe that was 175. I believe was his listed weight, and so that's what we'll put at that. But like I said, that's varied as well. So, I'm not too worried. If it's exactly the way that it is, it's kind of like Charles Barkley, right? Charles Barkley was listed at 6'6", but you know, guys that played with him during that era, they said he was like either 6'4" or 6'5". He wasn't 6'6". So it's just one of those things, guys. You just when you're doing these builds, you just kind of have to, especially the players from that far back, right? Because there's just no way of knowing. Um, so guys, with this, me personally, I feel like the wingspan is fine the way that it is. Now, for this, guys, you could do a couple different things here. You could do spot up or playmaker, because he was a really good playmaker. But me personally, I feel like spot up, was really really good. And if we get into this, look at that, guys. Another another Laker legend, Gail Goodrich. I mean, anyone that may not have seen him play, and just by seeing that, I mean, he's another player that I'm going to do a build on. But yeah, uh, I really feel like, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? I mean, that we see that, um, here. But guys, I mean, listen, here's the thing that I would say about Jerry West, right? Like, I really feel like, people, if you look at his numbers, right, you have to understand that he was a smaller player that did most of his damage on the perimeter, right? And he did this at a time when there wasn't a 3-point line. So, and to put that even into more perspective, guys, and this is really the thing that blew my mind. Some years ago when I found this out, right? There, in a playoff run, I believe it was like either 10 or 11 games, and I believe it was against the Celtics. But Jerry West averaged like 40.6 points per game. Okay, I think that's the second all-time points per game in a playoff run. And number one, of course, is Michael Jordan at 43.6. But as great of a scorer as Michael Jordan was, and I'll give Jordan all the props ever, here's the main difference, right? There was like 7 or 8 games difference. Okay? West averaged that playing 7 or 8 more games. So while they're both very impressive, I feel like Michael Jordan is slightly behind Jerry West on this one, right? Because if you can do that over 11 games, that's just impressive. Especially at his size, and the fact that there wasn't a 3-point line. Could you imagine what Jerry West could do today, guys, with a 3-point line? He would be scary, scary, scary. And the great thing about this is, guys, doing a Jerry West build. If you do play My Career, you could go through and you could go to West Virginia, right? I mean, so it could really come. You could really play this build really really well. So and there's other greats that you could do that with too. I know UCLA is on here, and you could do that with, like, I know I did Bill Walton and Kareem, and guys like that. So you could do it that way too. But it's just, that's one of the craziest things that I know about Jerry West, is that even though it's been so many decades now, he's still the biggest name that's ever came out of West Virginia, right? And West Virginia's never had anyone that was even that close, and I'm not saying that, UCLA has had guys that were nearly as good as, Kareem or, or Walton, but they did have guys like Westbrook. They've had guys like Kevin Love, and even before then you had the O'Bannon brothers, which were really, really good. They weren't great in the NBA, but they had a really, really good college career. So so yeah, I'm just saying, it's just kind of crazy, that no one, in the history of West Virginia basketball has even came close to Jerry West. Not even, anywhere close. So that's just crazy. But let's go ahead, let's get in and let's look at these badges, right? So we'll get this maxed out. So for finishing, guys, look, you've got two options. You could do acrobat or slithery finisher. Me personally, because it's a smaller build, I'm going to do slithery and try to avoid as much contact as possible. For this build, guys, now if you do it a point guard, you may do it a little bit different. You may want to do it a little bit different. But me personally, I'm going to have catch and shoot. I'm going to have hot zone hunter. I'm going to have chef, even though actually, you know what? I am going to do limitless though. Now, if you're doing a point guard build, I would do chef for sure. Okay, I would maybe take off catch and shoot and do chef. But I would do deadeye, blinders. You could do clutch shooter, guys. You could do mismatch because you are going to be a smaller two guard. You could do fade ace because he did have a decent fade. You could do slippery off ball where you're a two guard set shooter. But I feel like mismatch expert would be really good. And then just because it's the final one, I'm going to do stop and pop. Like I said, those other ones, green machine, clutch shooter, you could do, several different badges. That's just the ones that I would do for this build. Now for playmaking, guys, you want to do bullet passer, you do dimer, you could do handles for days. I would just do that on silver. I would do unpluckable, quick first step, space creator because you're smaller. And then for that last one, you could do stop and go. You could do needle threader. You could just, actually probably what I would do is I would take dimer off and then I would put needle threader there. And then, you could do this, or you could do glue hands, which I feel like would be the best for this build because you're going to be catching the ball mainly. So that glue hands will make it to where, it's easier for you to catch difficult passes, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Now for this, guys, like I said, he was a really good rebounder. So I'm going to do rebound chaser. I'm going to do interceptor. I will do intimidator on bronze just because you are smaller. So you do want that. Now, if you wanted to do, if you wanted to take rebound chaser off and put on clamps, you certainly could do so, right? It's really, it's whatever you prefer doing there. But me personally, I feel like because he was a good rebounder for his size, I feel like, that should be on there. But there you go, guys. I mean, there you have it. I really feel like that's a pretty good Jerry West build, right? You don't have quite the defense that I would like to see, but with these badges, you can do all right with them, right? And you're going to be able to do the playmaking like Jerry West. You're going to be able to do the shooting like West. It's a really, really fun build, guys. I played with this build a couple times. It is fun to play with. So it's just, again, I want to thank the viewer for the submission on that, for that request. And guys, let me know in the comments below, guys, that you would like to see me build. This is the second one I've done like this. I was going to do, because the one that requested the Tayshaun Prince also requested Bobby Jones. And it's just, the thing is, guys, I feel like Bobby Jones and Tayshaun Prince, they're very similar style of play. They both were like 6'9", small forwards, power forwards, things like that. And they both really focused on the defensive side, so it would be a pure red build. so I didn't necessarily do that, because they were so similar. But I really wanted to do, like I said, I'd already did a video on this build, and then I got the submission on it. So I was like, you know what, I gotta just axe that, and give a shout out to that, for the submission on that, because I do appreciate that, guys. Um, you know, it's one of those things. Any kind of interaction, with people that watch these videos, I really do enjoy it. Some days it may be a little bit, difficult for me to get in contact with you because I may be working or doing a family thing or something like that. But I will reach back out to you as soon as I possibly can. Um, but with that being said, guys, look, if you like those legends of the game, I'm talking about players from the 60s through the early 2000s, or if you're someone that's younger and you may not have seen some of those guys play, and you may want to get an idea of some names that you can maybe look up on YouTube, then this is the channel for you guys. So I would definitely say to go ahead and subscribe. And, if this is content that you enjoy, guys, I would greatly appreciate if you'd posterize that like button. That would help me out a great deal. And with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.